Peace, love, and happiness. Oh, goodness. Welcome to the solar eclipse energy. It's also the beginning of Mardi Gras, Lent, Ramadan, Lunar New Year, Chinese Lunar New Year, and other celebrations globally. So, this is a very, like, more than half of the population of the world is celebrating today. So if you feel distanced from that, right? If you feel distanced from that celebration, ask yourself why you're punishing yourself. Why are you punishing yourself? Right? That builds your resilience. Okay. I thought today I would go ahead and shift with numbers, they told me. Okay. So today is about shifting using numbers. And they said I could use the cards. So I have a deck of cards that's right here. And if you have a question, I'll go ahead and pull a card. And then we'll walk through the steps to like shift either toward where you would like to be or a clearing of where you're at, and then you can use choice. All right. You don't have to decide it while you're in it. Sometimes the reason that we have a tendency to decide what it is that we want from where we're at is because we're not satisfied where we're at, because we don't know what enough is. When you've clearly defined to yourself what enough is, life becomes easier. It becomes a lot easier. And if you decide and determine that you're enough, everything works. Everything works. Okay. So today, if you're just joining, okay, what you can do is, hi, Sammy, you can let me know that you're online. All right. And then if you have a specific question or if you have a pathway, okay, if you have a pathway that is seeming to be like blocked, stagnant, and you would like movement in it, okay, I can give you what I'm seeing, what I'm perceiving in the energy, because I read frequencies. And then, pardon me. And then you can choose whether or not you would like to clear the path, understand the path, feel the path, be the path. But that's basically what happens anyway. Okay. So today is question day. So if you, and I don't always do questions, but the reason I'm doing questions today is I want to show you the broad aspect that I have when it comes to application of energy. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just going to show you that you have this access. All of us have this access. I've learned how to hone it. I could teach you how to do that. I have an immersion March 21st and 22nd that's coming up, and you can check that out. I don't know if I had the link on this description. I might, but you can always go to Body Studios if you would like. So today, if you give me a greeting and then you ask me a question, I will go ahead and I will pull a card. The question can be applicable to humanity, okay? And it can be applicable to self, all right? I will look at it as consciousness. That's how I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look for the vibration and frequency that matches the description of the question that you're asking me. All right? Okay, what does spirit want you to know? Okay, so that you have agency. That you have agency. All right? Love begins. So this is the equivalent of the Ace of Cups, right? And so what I would say is that you're finding that self-love is your healing power, right? When you learn how to do that for yourself, you could do that too and teach that to others, right? You could share like your methods and your processes, and they're very important. You're very impactful. You're communicative. You're connected to community. And it's just the little tidbits that we share with one another to help us build the resilience and love, right? To facilitate the change that we see coming, right? And right now we're in a very aware place, just a very aware place. and it's going to bring about more awareness. We're sitting with a lot of highly charged emotional energy, and it is digging deep into our bones, the core of our beings. And it is recognizing itself through DNA patterns that we have carried forever. Right? And that's why the nervous system is seemingly on high alert, because it's reading volumes of frequency all at once. So understanding that it's like a process and slowing it down for yourself is key. There you go. So yes, so you're in initiate energy. You're learning how to flow like water. Flowing like water is what's necessary for this year, especially for these placements for the next 3 years. For where it's at right now with the planets, with Neptune and Saturn just entering Aries, that's a lot of yang energy. Yang energy is very powerful and domineering, okay? And it could be destructive. It's also very protective, actionable, passionate, okay? So it's how we master the divine masculine energy, how we utilize that for ourselves, with others, and ourselves, right? Okay? And in that masculinity, it's the doing and the action, the reasoning and the logic. And so we're in our cranial aspect when it comes to that, right? And in these next 3 years, what you're going to want to remember is that water represents like the divine feminine, right? So that's going to be feeling, emotion, your intuition, common sense. Common sense is built through the common frequency connection of consciousness between us, okay? And it is a sensory experience. You sense it. All right? That is your divine feminine nature. Sometimes people may contend that there is a brain in the heart, there's a brain in the belly, in the gut. And that is a construct. You've built constructs to prevent you from recreating things in the ways that they have been created prior to, especially traumas or wounds or misalignments or disalignments, okay? All right. You're almost at ground zero, right? Okay. Allowing yourself to know that water flows and unfolds. That's what water does. Water holds and hosts, all right? And it can get into cracks, okay, and crevices, and it can recreate through gentle movement, right? Different bodies. So flow like water using this fire, this passion, these actions. Flow with community. You're really being called to community right now. I feel that there's a lot that you are yet to build, and you are still in some unawareness. It's almost like you just got aboard the good ship Lollipop, right? And you're being called forward to go ahead and do. This is one I'm reading. Thank you. You're being called forward to understand that love that you've been nurturing and learning for yourself, right? And letting go of the other story where you're not enough and you've been through these hardships and heartaches. It's not like they didn't happen. You're welcome to vibe in those stories. And you're learning that how, DNA number 7 lets us self-articulate, our experience to ourselves. That's clairaudience. I laugh about this stuff. Anyway, so you're already in the zone. You're already in the zone. So give yourself credit and know that flowing like water and being at peace is going to be key. So choosing that vibration of peace, right? And allowing yourself to be enough, deciding what enough is, right? You're the only one that can decide that and tell it to yourself. Nobody could do that for you. And then once you do that, see how you measure up in the situations. You'll quit comparing because you'll be in more acceptance. And so this is the birth of you getting to know you on a deeper level in a more intimate way that's very vulnerable, yet powerful, very powerful. All right. And I'll leave you with that. Okay. All right. And so this is Sammy. Hi, Sammy. Wow. That was good. So as I pull my energy back from that reading and I recenter myself and I clear away any psychic debris and I transmute it, now what I'm doing is I'm telling my field how to behave. I'm telling it, go into purity. Go into witness. Let's observe. Show me what I need to understand and feel. Help me connect. And that's what I do. So now I'm back. Now we're with Sammy. You're very welcome, Alishea. Okay. Okay. Goodness. Oh. All right. So I'm going into the energy alignment of your overwhelming feelings and thoughts right now, mostly thoughts. Like you're not allowing yourself to be present with you. There is a learning experience going on right now, but you're keeping it in your mind, so you're not accepting it somewhere in your body. And the learning experience feels very tangible. So because it's very tangible, and immediately what I got was your counterpart that you have been manifesting in, right? And it could be job because it's like, it's a very strong and passionate feeling of loss. And it could be a friend, okay? And the friend aspect doesn't feel the same, but it feels all tied. So I want to know some things before I begin to shift this card. And this is what fell out. So this is what you're hiding from yourself, okay? So it isn't you searching for it so much as now you're in understanding and feeling of that vibration that you're practicing. Okay. And it feels like your head's going to pop, right? So what you could do when you get overwhelmed like this and you've pulled in too much information, because that's what it is. So you've just exhausted yourself by pulling in too much information, too much ideas, too many what about this, what about this, what about this, what about this. It's like you're whispering to yourself very manically over something. It's going to cause you loss if you don't have loss already. That's what it will do. These thoughts and these practices will cause you loss if there is not loss already. Okay? They're very obsessive loops. I caught it. That was good. So they're obsessive loops. And what I would say is that you could feel earth coming in right now. You can feel yourself being pulled into like your body, right? Okay. And as we give commands to the energetic field, to consciousness, to spiritual field, right? And we ask it to be more inclined to engage, right? To engage in a balanced, harmonious, relaxed theater, right? And so now you notice your body. You're going to notice how your body feels in certain places. It's good that you're present. You need to be present for your experience. All right. This is how you decide what you want to keep and what you want to release. Okay. So as you're very present in this experience, I'm noticing that you're also having energy pressure in this area, as well as in like your solar plexus on the left side. So willingness to receive. Okay. And on the right side, you think that there's something that you need to say that's going to change things. And there's also like, oh, oh, okay. I didn't even read the question. Okay. Now I just read the question. All this is making a lot of sense. Okay. Oh, yeah. And now you're also noticing your back, how you're carrying something on your back, literally carrying energy on your back. You could feel it now, right? And energy gets heavy. Physically, we're energy anyway. So when you pull more energy in, it has a tendency to feel burdensome. And there's nothing to figure out other than learning how to just be okay. And that's going to help. Just being okay. If it is a long term relationship that you are looking for, then what is the fucking hurry? All right. Definition won't change the length of time. Your feelings and your thoughts are already suggesting long term to one another. And you're already in a momentum of that process, right? If you would like more interaction, start to daydream about what that interaction could look like. Travel in that vibe, all right? Because you haven't been. You have not. You have been shooting yourself in the foot repeatedly over and over and over again. Why doesn't this happen? How come it's not like this? What about that? Oh, I don't like that. I want this instead. This needs to happen. Oh man, I must be doing it wrong. No, you're just doing it like that. Ooh, wow, that release, that was nice. Yes. All right, great. So what I'm also noticing is that the humor, the ha ha ha, right, helped you feel less powerless and less like you had to direct your egoic energy somewhere. You had to will it to make it happen, and you don't. You just be. You're already attractive. That's why you coupled. You're already attractive. Just keep being you. All right. The masculine energy of us wants to know what the end game is so that we can strategize. All right. But it isn't capture the flag. It's not capture the flag. It's willingness to accept behavior that isn't yours. It's willingness to accept behavior that isn't yours. Okay. Have a feeling or an emotion around it. Have a thought and keep that shit to yourself. That's what it's fucking about. Because that's just your fucking opinion. That's it. And if you don't want their opinion about you, do not offer yours to them from you. Because their perception is different. They're not perceiving themselves through your lens. All right? They're not perceiving the world the way that you do. They're not. No one is. That's what makes us unique. That's our energetic signature. That's how we can differentiate between us, like who's who, right? It's what we practice vibrationally, and we practice vibrationally what we understand and what we mean, what we think and feel. That usually inspires action toward whatever we think we want to experience. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to pull a second card. I'll show you the first card, but I want to pull a second card because I think that we did a substantial shift. There's still a little remnant activity here, so you do have to practice purposely saying nice things to yourself, of yourself, about this relationship. Okay? Like, man, I'm so hot. He liked me. See how that feels? It's titillating, tantalizing, exciting, nuanced. And all you're doing is you're awakening all of the vibration and frequency that brings you pleasure, that brings you safety, that brings you acceptance, that brings you, ooh, I'm delicious. Okay? All right. Let's see. That's right. Okay, so right now you are in a spiritual lesson. In that moment, you were in a practice, a situational practice. You were able to shift from where you were. And we saw you this way at first, to where you felt like your hands were tied and you didn't know where it was going and there was nothing for you. And how is this all going to work out? And I don't know what to do. I don't know what this is, right? However, right? However, we found out that that's just part of the story that you're living right now. The story that you're living right now is the Hanged Man in the Rider-Waite Tarot, right? And the Hanged Man is about spirituality and belief system. We're going to clear that right now. Yeah, almost. I almost got all of it. Give me a second. All right. So anyway, sometimes people interpret that particular card as a spiritual lesson of sacrifice. Okay, sacrifice and compromise. You asked what you could do to help move you. Co-creation. That's what I would say. Co-creation. That's going to be the ticket. All right. Asking for input about things that you find important, right? Not like, how many kids do you want? Not like that. Like the vulnerability of sharing your dreams, right? Like, I feel best when I'm in this space. What's your favorite space? And finding those things where your best vibes are and practicing those best vibes together. And that's what you're learning. That's actually what compromise is. Compromise is moving from your vibration and going into somebody else's vibration. That's compromise. Okay? It's not sacrifice, but it is a lot of waiting until you come back to yourself. All right? And then when you come back to yourself, you're usually better for it. You're still a little bit in the emotions, right? And you're also in your thoughts. So this means that you're balanced between the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and you're still in the physicality as well. So you're learning all of these things. Plus, this is the number 12, which is a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3. So it has an energy of giddy up. Let's go. Let's go. Yet this particular card is about how you hold yourself sacred in that patient vibration of you. And that's what that card's about. And you're in that spiritual lesson right now. So you're welcome. All right. Does anybody else have a question? Greetings to anybody who's just joining us. Thank you for listening in. Right now, we're all experiencing an enormous amount of emotion, and any emotion that is unprocessed in your physical body is going to create pressure and pain, because those are great motivators for change. And the easiest thing that you can do when you come into that pain or that pressure, all right, is to make a tangible construct to put it into, so that that way, oh, okay, all right, to put it into a tangible construct, all right. And the tangible construct could be something like, it could be something like writing a paper, okay, and allowing whatever the story is that you're telling right now that you're not finding satisfaction in, right, writing it down on the piece of paper, and then putting your hands on it and saying, okay, I'm going to transfer all of this energy charge into this paper so I can let go of it. Then you literally sit through the charge as you're transferring it anyway. All right. And then you can burn, tear, bury, flush the paper, right? After make it, don't clog yourself up. Okay. And then that gives you a release of the energy, the focus that you're in, okay? Because it brings finality. Ritual always gives us satisfaction. Brush your teeth, comb your hair, dress. All of that is very ritualistic. So as we do that, that allows us better understanding of how our life operates. Like, we're not going to brush our teeth all the way to work and then halfway through the day and then come back to it, right? We're going to do it once because we're going to say this will take care of it. Maybe when we have lunch again, or maybe when we have dinner or before bed. Yet we're not going to be doing it when we're on the phone talking to somebody at our desk, right? Because we will have given ourselves permission to let this be the end of the ritual. Okay? Now, when we know this inherently and we practice that, everything becomes very important, and we slow down. We slow down enough to where it gives us time to really make great selection from a better vibration that we're already choosing. And that's why. So, hi, Lucy. I would be happy to pull cards for you. What I'll need from you is for you to go ahead and write a question. Okay. So, write a question. And the reason is because today, what I'm doing, on Tuesdays, I don't always pull cards, but today I'm pulling cards because anybody who has a question, no matter where they're at, no matter what the question is, you can ask a question that has to do with humanity. You can ask a question that's personal to you. Okay. And I will answer it. Depending on the card that I get, I will know whether or not I need to help you shift from a certain vibration, bring you into awareness about it, show you how to do it, and then maybe pull an additional card like we just did with Sammy, okay? Or another story. You're clearing a story, okay? Or it tells you where you're at and it opens the path even further. So it's kind of up to you. But the question that you ask me is going to be the energy that we're working with, okay? So yes, I look forward to your question. So happy solar eclipse day. This is a day of illumination, deepest illumination. All of Lilith was illuminated today. What about that? Okay. What is in store for me during this eclipse season, New Year, of Fire Horse energy for me? Clean up on aisle 9 is the first thing that they said. That's the first thing that they said. Right now, you're going through old constructs of how you do business, basically, in your mind. And in that, you haven't trusted your intuitive nature for a very long time. Oh. Right now, you may have a sense that you are coming back into like your body. Grounding, basically, is what you might be feeling. Okay? Okay. And so as you come back to yourself, what'll happen is that you're not in or pulling in more energy that isn't you. Now you're going to feel a little bit more grounded and connected to what the question is that you asked. Okay. Well, I would say that you're learning how to manage your energy better. Isolation is not the answer. What else are they saying? They're showing me a lot. They're showing me things like in a grocery store, and they're showing me it's all dark and that something needs to be cleaned up. And then they're also showing me, like, I get weird pictures sometimes. Sometimes I know right off the bat what it is that they're telling me, but now we're just meandering. All right. So let's see. Let's see. Goodness. I would say that there's a lot of change coming your way for sure. But that is standard to the fire horse energy. I'm not sure when you were born. If you were born in the year of the fire horse, then you're meant for leadership in this next coming season of the fire horse, the year. There's many, you have a lot that you want to accomplish, and you're not really giving yourself, you're not really giving yourself a lot of a lot of room with that. Okay, all right. Because so emotional loss, that's what I'm feeling, and you're absolutely correct. So thank you for that, because that's right. And so that's like where you're at right now. Now, fives are a very interesting card. Okay. So fives are about faith and friction. Faith and friction. And I would say that a lot of what you are experiencing currently is a dismantling of structure and construct that was given to you from birth and childhood. And in that, you're learning to trust yourself in your belief system more and more. And just to let you know, so Mars went into Aquarius on the 24th of January, or Pisces. I think it was, I'm not sure. I think it was, anyway, Pisces, maybe. No, it was Aquarius. I don't know if it's made it to Pisces yet. That's the next transit. Sorry. Anyway, when that happened, the divine feminine woke up, literally. So this divine feminine energy went online, basically. And it probably has to do with so great a number of the population being millennial, female. Okay? And that divine feminine nature awakens at different times in our lives. It awakens for men and women, just for people in general. And it is a change of hormonal traffic in the body. It opens the intuition. And if we're shamed or told that that's not acceptable, then we hold it in. When we hold it in, we have a tendency to not practice loving kindness toward ourselves. Instead, we practice that we are diminished and not enough because we have this. And that is not the truth. That's just how that is operating. Okay? All right. I would say that what first came in was that it was like a layering of your dad, and you've been thinking about him an awful lot. And I would say that you're doing some really deep work around that. And there's like this desire from that side that you create forgiveness for yourself because you didn't hold yourself away on purpose. There's like this, it's just right here. It's just right here. I'm just going to read the frequencies and tell you where they're at. I don't, there you go. Okay. And we never really get over anything, we become it. So as you become this loss, as you become this choice, right? Begin to look for like the celebratory energy in it, the ease in it. Okay. You have to find ease through a feeling. So feel into it. Feel into the energy of where you would like to be. And take a deep breath in. Really expand your chest and your belly. Deeper again. Again. One more. And let it all out. Now you're coming deeper in. All right. So 18 months is usually an eclipse gate. 18 months. All right. And right now, today is a very special day. It's a very special day. There's so many different celebrations that are happening today. Acclimating to just one of them, right? And saying, I want to celebrate like that will help you understand what this energy is going to be about. All right. It's about becoming community. It's about being resilient. It's about being joyful. And it's about being in appreciation. And that's what it's about. There are horrors and horrendous things that are happening. We don't have to focus on them, but we do have to be aware of them. Not for avoidance, but for change. You're coming into an understanding that you have to make a choice. And you got to be okay with that choice. That choice is actionable in many different ways. Many different ways. Holding space for another individual, that right there builds community. It builds resilience. It builds love, kindness, appreciation, joy, the things that we need to move forward with. All right? And that is your job. That is your absolute job at this time. I don't know how you're going to facilitate that, but that is what is calling you right now. It isn't opening your home to a bunch of people. I don't know if it's like maybe having a group, but you are definitely being called to facilitate something. And you got to figure out what that is. You have to find out if it is a ritual for yourself that sends beautiful energy to others. Yet you are the one who has to decide what it looks like. But that's what you're being called to right now. Something that allows you to determine what it is that you want in these next 18 months. The fire horse energy that is actually coming through for you. Okay. I would say that this 5 leans into a lot of faith. You're going to be challenged on many aspects. And just to let you know, fire horse energy changes about every 3 to 4 months. Every 3 to 4 months. And it has the biggest heart energy. So if you're not flowing in your divine feminine and you're still trying to hold it back so that way you can work within the system that's collapsing, all right, then you're not going to fare very well. It won't go well for you. You won't understand that change is the new flavor, all right? And you're going to have to intuit it. You're going to have to intuit it to find out what works, what doesn't work, what should I be doing now, okay? But you are right now being called to develop your divine feminine intuition deeply, extensively. You want a job? Feel into it. Is that the right job? Is that the right company? Do they support the right people? Do they support the change that I want to see in the world? That's how people are changing right now. And that's where you're at. Let's see where we're at. Ooh. And so we leaned into faith and I pulled an additional card. So here, you're in a spiritual lesson. Of course you are. You're in the spiritual lesson of hope. What could hope be? What could hope be? What could hope be? All right. So it's faith. You have to determine what it is that you would like to experience in the future so that way you're comfortable moving forward. All right. And it's going to be a very intuitive year. A lot of female leadership is going to rise up. You'll probably be part of that. What do you want to see in change? What do you want to see happen? How do you think it should come about? What does your feelings tell you? What does your meaning say? Right? So the spiritual lesson that you're in right now is hope. Okay. So this is like the star card. That's what this is. So hope. And what these two cards tell you, this emotional loss, right, is that maybe you're just melancholy. And what you can do is you can really lean into those emotions and start to change them into what it is that you would like to feel. Use that vibration to receive what it is that you would like to experience. This, because we leaned into the 5 for faith. And then this card came, which is hope, which is a star card. The star card is about, this particular card is about finding out what your belief system is. And that's what you're doing right now. You're finding out what actually works, what shouldn't be there, what should be there, what's supportive, what's restrictive, and you're deciding. And it's important that you decide. And the only way to decide that will give you satisfaction is to be intuitive with it. All right? So you will be happy to know you're doing very well. All right. Okay. That was a big shift. Now you don't feel so in your head. Your solar plexus just got cleared. Let's see. Okay, good. Now you're back on a firm foundation. Perfect. All right. It was lovely speaking with you guys today. I'll be here again tomorrow with Sarah at 3 p.m. We'll be doing Ask and Align, and we do channeled readings. Okay? Thank you for joining. And don't forget, I have an immersion coming up at the end of March. Well, it's March 21st and 22nd. It's if you buy before a certain date, it's 444 for the 2 days. And if you buy after 6 people, it's 555. But it is a steal because it's 10 hours of very intense magical practice. Peace.